Hello everyone, I'm Carthu and welcome back to the dojo. Today, I wanted to discuss something in, once again, the free talk format. Rambling, talking off the cuff, just going about it. Because just like the Ultra Instinct video I did, the 2 types of Ultra Instinct, I also need to clarify some confusion that seems to be around Topo and his new form, whatever you want to call it, his unlocked potential, whatever the hell you want to call it. We'll just call him God of Destruction Topo for the sake of this video. And why are there misconceptions? So, the misconception seems to be that what Topo is doing every time he says Hakai is not a Hakai. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news for those of you that believe this, but it is. Topo says Hakai before doing it, puts his hand up, and shoots it out. When it lands on something, that something turns into a bunch of pinkish purplish particles. So what else do we know about the Hakai? When Beerus used it, Beerus put his hand up, said Hakai, and then the thing he was targeting turned into a purplish pinkish pile of dust, floating in the wind. So where's the confusion coming from? Well, let's go back to episode 95 of Dragon Ball Super. In this episode, Seadra is shown to have given one of his assassins that he's hired the energy of destruction, Hakai no Energy. Now, him giving this energy to someone led many to believe, well, is this power transferable? Is that how we get new gods of destruction? We find out now that that's not the case. The case is that you can actually just train to use this key. It seems like him giving him, the energy of Hakaishin, is the same as, Goku, lending someone his energy. Not for a spear bomb or anything, just, putting the hands on each other and giving energy. Krillin and Gohan giving energy to Piccolo in the Frieza saga is a great example of this. So, we have a case where someone is given this energy of destruction. They then use that energy of destruction as an attack that was said to destroy someone. The confusion here was, one, the dog assassin guy didn't need to say Hakai. Okay, fair enough. The second piece of confusion was Beerus' attack didn't look like a giant ball that, engulfed the enemy. It actually, ripped from the inside out. You're not wrong, but there was a difference, too. Beerus' attack wasn't a projectile, was it? It really was something that was as close as possible, and actually, Beerus had one of his hands holding Zamasu already. It's actually very possible he was just leading the ki into his body that way. Or you could argue that he was so close he didn't need to make a big one. A little one, just like the one that Topo flicked at Frieza, was more than enough for the power level that Zamasu was displaying. Even at that point, even if you want to say, no, it's too different, they look too different, you have to take Topo's aura into account. Remember, Topo's aura now, it's not really an aura, it's actually just like a coating. It's a coating of energy of destruction. This coating of energy of destruction is a different form of energy of destruction that still has the same properties of a regular Hakai, right? You don't have to say Hakai, but it goes, anything that touches it gets turned into the purple dust. Obviously, there's probably a threshold, like we saw with Seadra and Frieza. Frieza was able to contain that Hakai, but with Topo, he was not, so there's a threshold. You have to be so much stronger, or at least just under your opponent, in order to be able to Hakai them effectively. But what I'm seeing a lot of people saying is that they're so different, all these things, that they can't be the same. And really what it comes down to is actually that all 3 of these things are Hakais. The one that Beerus used on Zamasu, the one that Seadra had his bodyguard use on Frieza, and the one that Topo's using on Android 17 and Frieza. And you know what? For the hell of it, a 4th one is Topo's aura, his coating, his armor. All 4 of these are a type of Hakai. Why? Why are we calling these things Hakais? Because they are made of energy of destruction. If they are made of the energy of destruction and cause destruction, then in essence they are destruction. All Hakai means is destroy, destruction, whatever you want to say. Now that translation can be done either way. That's why you say either. And it's context-based. But you have Hakai, right, which is just the word for destroy. In the English dub, I actually expect Beerus to say destruction and not Hakai, or destroy instead of Hakai. I really don't expect him to say anything else. Because it's not a new word, like Kamehameha, or Gallic Gun, which is like a pun, right? No, it's not a new word. it's actually an existing word in Japanese. It'd be like, every time they said hello, you have to say, konnichiwa. Or every time Goku says, yo, you have to say os. No, you don't do that, right? Because those are real words. You just translate them. Destroy is just a real word. And because it's just a real word, it's just being applied to what the technique does and not actually a name of the technique, right? You get where I'm going, right? So what does the ball of energy that Toppo is launching do? It destroys. What does Seadra's ball of energy do? What is it supposed to do, at least? It's supposed to destroy, guys. What does, Beerus's Hakai obviously do? It destroys. What does Toppo's aura do to anything that touches it? It destroys. All of these things destroy, and thus they are Hakais. It doesn't matter whether it's a projectile, whether it's a melee attack, whether it's an aura. As long as it's using the energy of destruction, it doesn't matter if it's even causing destruction. It's trying to, and that's the point. You wouldn't call a failed Kamehameha not a Kamehameha, right? Like, if Goku went Kamehameha on Cell and did, the instant transmission Kamehameha, is it not a Kamehameha because it failed? No! It's still doing the Kamehameha. It's still attempting to do its job. Same with the Kikoho. Same with, the Gallic Gun, the Final Flash, the Big Bang Attack. All of those have failed. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it fails or succeeds, because it's doing what it set out to do, maybe not as effectively or, with a success rate that the user wants, but it's still doing it. So what's the important takeaway here, guys? Toppo is using a Hakai. Seadra gave someone energy of destruction and thus gave them a Hakai. Beerus used a Hakai, and Toppo's aura is a form of Hakai, just, shaped differently, basically. That's the point to get across. That's what we need to understand. When we're having discussions about how strong the Hakai is, what are its limits, we can see them in these fights if we understand that all these things are Hakais. Beerus used it on someone weaker, so it works on weaker people. Toppo used it on someone that's relative to his at least starting strength. And it didn't kill them, but he wasn't trying to. So it's not a guaranteed destroy if you don't want it to be. Seadra used it on Golden Frieza, and it basically did nothing other than tire him out a little. And Toppo's aura was destroying everything it touched, though it's unclear if actual person contact would destroy the person. It's assumed so, though, because no melee attacks were used on Toppo during this episode. Alright guys, so no more free talk for now. I've been going on long enough. I hope you understand this, because it's clear to me that the Hakai is all of these things. But what do you guys think? Leave your opinions and counterpoints in the comments down below, and subscribe if you want more Dragon Ball videos. But for now, video out!